What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video. And right before I was about to start this video, I took a look at the image, and oh my lord, how poetic! How poetic! If you quickly glance before we get into this video, look at the background. Look at Phil's Devoom, his Devoom artwork thing that shows gifs and pictures or whatever. Look what it reads. Dent. D-E-N-T. Oh my lord. And that wasn't on purpose, folks. Seriously, I didn't do that on purpose. This is his daily rap video, which I just recorded and then I inverted. And wow, how poetic. I think God is trying to tell Phil something. That he is a dent. Well, anyway, let's get back to the video. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody. Back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video. After a day, of course, Resident Evil. Requiem, the finale, which was a straight up disaster. It was terrible. No support, no viewership, no nothing. And then the night stream continued that streak where he got low support most of the day. One dent came out and saved the stream, but my God, last night was just a parade of women characters that curb stomp Phil. Straight up just curb stomp him. Every female he went up against, Cammy, Aki, it didn't matter, Marisa, he got curb stomped. And it was glorious. It was great. And my apologies, I didn't put a video out last night, but just very tired. So I put it out this morning. It's actually posted right now. It went live a few minutes ago. And yeah, so check it out. It's really funny. I got all the highlights, and I think he ended up getting perfected like 7 times. That's right, which was always glorious. And I clipped those as well. So anyway, let's see what Phil had to say on the Daily Rap. By the way, my condolences for everyone today. Today is a retro marathon, and we know how horrible those marathons are. The only thing we actually watch for is to see if he gets low support. But Doody will tough through it, clip it, and post clips that he finds funny. All right, let's get into it, folks.
The daily wrap for what was Thursday, the 5th of March, 2026. Today was the big day, the conclusion of Resident Evil Requiem. Okay, and Street Fighter. Well, that was a complete coincidence. I swear, I didn't know that those animations were coming up in that order. Today was the conclusion of Resident Evil Requiem. After a week straight of playing it every day, today we completed the game. And today we had a Thursday night fights stream of Street Fighter 6 because I know that people crave fighting games, wanted to get a session in. We did so, and for the first time, I think ever, there might have been a couple times like years ago I did this, I put the power in the hands of the viewers. I let the viewers vote for what they wanted, and they got to see me throw down with the character of their choice. Let's talk about this. So first,
yeah, their choice is 3 people. Yeah, that's some choice there. I love the fakeness of illusion of choice here. That's really what it was. Oh, I'm gonna let my viewers choose who I'm gonna play, but you have to stick in this. You have to stay in this small little box where I'm only gonna give you 3 players that you can select from. That's not choice, brother. Okay, that's you. You know that's you. It's not a choice. All right. And the other thing is, man, good lord, you need to stop doing Friday night. You need to stop doing Street Fighter on Thursday night. Jack Raxter cannot come out and support you on Thursdays. Don't you understand that he gets his allowance on Friday? So if you want that $25 from Jack Raxter, brother, you better start doing Street Fighter on Fridays and not Thursdays, because he just can't come out and do it, brother. He can't. I mean, there are only a few times he can actually go and steal his mom's credit card without her noticing. Okay, Phil? So stick to Street Fighter on Fridays, all right? You're just ruining everything. You almost didn't hit the goal yesterday, all right? You had to do a lot of begging at the end, and someone came in with like I don't know. I think they gifted some memberships, which got you to your non-goal. So you know, Jack Raxter, brother, if you want that Jack Raxter bunny, you better comply and start doing Street Fighter on Fridays. I think he's going to be doing that next week. So, Jack Raxter, save up your quarters, all right?
first off today, on a Level 1 podcast, I gave my summarized thoughts about what I had thought about Resident Evil Requiem after having played it all week long. And they're mixed, although mostly positive. And overall, I was happy that I had focused on the game as much as I had. Because think of it this way. Everyone's like, oh, most streamers already beat the game. And I'm like, yeah, but most streamers also aren't variety streamers. They're not sitting here playing 2 different games a day plus a podcast, right? Most of them who played it nonstop for 2-3 days, beat it quick. That's not who I am. I'm a variety guy, and I know that people don't like Resident Evil and they still want to enjoy my content. I didn't want to shut down the entire, business for a week just for the game. At the same time, even playing it as the day stream all week, a lot of people were kind of upset with me saying I played too much of it. I didn't want the playthrough to go 2-3 weeks. I wanted to have it done, and I'm happy that I did it as fast and accelerated as I did. In fact, it's turned out to be a lot of views. Like, if you look at the videos right now on YouTube, they're doing very good for any kind of a playthrough usually on my channel. basically overperforming. And I think, of course, that's because it's a huge AAA game that actually is good, unlike most AAAs of the last year. Having one that's a solid entry from Capcom is pretty good to watch me do. So I hope that you'll enjoy it. It's done now. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I see he's still coping over the low viewership, the low support for the last, 3 streams. He's not happy. The only reason why he sped up the playthrough was because support wasn't there. If support would have been there like it was on the first stream, he would have stretched this out to like 2 weeks. He would have. But since viewers were like, look, man, why is it taking you so long to beat a game? Every other content creator played the game and beat it in 1 or 2 streams. Why is it taking you literally, 8 streams to play a game? Why do you need to be so slow? And I think the funny thing is most people know what you're doing. Most people know that you're trying to stretch it out and milk it. I mean, this isn't the first game that you've done this. And your viewers criticize you and say, bro, you expect us to sit here and watch 8 streams of this when you literally can beat it in 2, But again, he has to weigh the needs of the business versus the needs of the viewership. That's, I guess, what DSP is trying to tell you. But it's fun. If you watch the podcast or the morning show throughout the week while he was playing Resident Evil, it was the same fucking argument. And he spent every stream basically complaining and saying, no, I'm the business owner. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. And doing what he was doing. And of course, what happened? He got low support. The finale, you would think a couple dents would come out and throw some money his way to get him to his goal for the last stream. He got $80 and barely cracked 200 viewers, man. That was sad and pathetic for a AAA game, as DSP, as the hardcore gaming scene, whatever the cope is. But of course, because he decided to he picked his decision, and he was going to do what he wanted to do no matter what, and he didn't give a shit what anyone said. Well, he got low viewership and low support. It died. He basically died after the first day. So I don't know, Phil. I know you like to do experiments and like to do scientific studies. You might want to take Resident Evil and do a scientific study on that and try to determine what exactly happened. Maybe, just maybe, people don't want to sit there and watch you stretch out a game for 8 streams when you can actually beat it in 2. How about that, okay? All right, Phil, but we know Phil won't because he's still coping. I mean, this is the last stream. He got barely any viewership. He got low support on the finale, right? And he's still defending his choice to do what he did. When literally like 90% of his chat told him, look, man, speed this shit the fuck up. We don't care. And even at the very end, you decided to read a 60-page document. No one cares, bro. No one really fucking cares. Like, and what it was he was just like, no, I'm not letting anyone go until I hit my goal. If you want me to stop this nonsense and torture you with reading, you better hit my goal. And no one did. By then, people just tuned out and were like, all right, well, I'm gonna go see something. I'm gonna go watch something else. And that's what they did, man. You force people to just leave because they're like, this isn't entertaining. But again, you're the business owner. You're successful, as you like to claim. And you're going to continue doing the things you want to do. So, all right. Have fun with that, Phil.
It clocked in at around, I think, 19 parts. The game said around 14 hours of gameplay. It's more than that, obviously, because remember, this game doesn't count when you're in a pause menu. It doesn't count, I think, when you're looking at the map. I don't know if it counts cutscenes. But, there's a lot of times I'm interacting with you guys. We're looking at the map. We're talking. None of that counted towards the total game time. Okay? So, overall, my final thoughts. I really like the game. It grew on me the more I played it. At first, I was skeptical with so much Grace up front and so much Leon in the second half. And the truth is, when you first start playing as those characters in their respective halves of the game, it's very difficult. But within a couple of hours of playing with them, once you learn their strategies and play styles, and you find better weapons, you upgrade the weapons you have, and you learn how to craft, etc., now the game's easier. So honestly, here's my real take at the end. I legit think Resident Evil Requiem is too easy. I wish they would have let you play at a harder difficulty up front. Because by the time that I was at the end of the game...
Wait, what are you talking about, Phil? They did allow you to... What are you talking about? I believe you can play... If I'm not mistaken, I believe you can play every mode, every difficulty mode, except for that insane horde mode, whatever, at the very end. You actually have to beat the game once, and then replay it, and then they allow you to play that mode. You decided to play whatever mode Capcom defaulted to. I believe so. If I'm mistaken, you guys will tell me in the chat if I'm mistaken. But I'm pretty sure most games will allow you to choose difficulty. If it was so easy, Phil, why did it take you so long to beat the game? Why did you die so many times? And I wish Raw Phil would have had a death count. One thing I was thinking about doing is tracking how many times he literally died through this playthrough, and it's a lot. it's a lot. It's a lot, man. I mean, he must have burned through ribbons to save the game a billion times. And of course, just like every other difficult game, he saves scums, which he actually did with Resident Evil. And I get with Resident Evil, you kind of have to do that a little bit because you know you are limited in ammo and so on, and you do have to do checkpoint. I kind of get that, but this guy, man, my God, if he could have saved the game every 20 seconds, he would have. But you know, I guess he's limited with the typewriter tape or whatever the hell it's called. All right, let's keep going.
With Leon, I turboed through everything. Like, I'm serious. Like, Leon, those final bosses that were supposed to be hard bosses, I just beat them one shot. Seriously, just one-shotted them. I one-shotted the final boss. So I wished that basically the game had more to it and was more complicated and or more difficult. It didn't feel at the end like real Resident Evil. It felt like it was easy mode Resident Evil to be accessible to the masses who never played Resident Evil before. And sadly, I think that's what's going to happen with most games these days. I really believe that games are just going to become easier and easier because they want to sell more, which they did. For those who don't know, Resident Evil Requiem has sold 5 million copies already, and it hasn't even been out for a week yet. Well, now it has officially been out for a week. So that's what I mean. If more people are going to buy it and most haven't played the previous games, you got to make them easier, right?
Okay, Phil. You know the reason why these gaming companies provide yellow paint and make it easier and give you constant hints? It's because of people like you, brother. Do we really need to fire up the God of War demo where they specifically used you? They used you as the test case. Like, look, this is why we provide yellow paint, because the idiots like this dumbass right here, where he needs help, because if you don't give him help, he'll never beat the game and he'll end up quitting. You, Phil, your sloppy ass, lazy gameplay, right? Your low effort content, your low effort, you want everything done so quickly. You want everything to be essentially a walking simulator. You want zero challenge. Puzzle bosses are, detractors, whatever the hell you say. You're the reason why games are easy. You, bro, you, not anyone else. You. So if you're tired of easy games, then you need to stop bitching about when something's difficult in a game. Because again, how many videos have I posted of clips you bitching about a game being too difficult or being too hard, or blaming the pain, whatever the hell, just the utter nonsense that you scream and shout about every time you suck at a game. Good God, you're the reason, Phil. People like you are the reason why games are being made so easy, and you're being, they're holding your hand throughout the entire playthrough. It's because of you. Now get good, and maybe games will be actually more challenging. God, man, again, he has zero self-awareness of the shit he does, the shit he says, and how it does resonate. And people remember that. People know exactly, that you bitch and complain about how difficult a game is. And then when a developer tries to give you some hip tips or help and makes it easy for you, and you're looking for, because again, this is just still looking for a reason to complain about Resident Evil, because he didn't make the money he expected. That's what it was. Trust me, if he would have gotten $200 a stream for every stream, 200, 300 viewers for every stream, he would have been praising this game. He would have said it was innovative. You would have probably said it's game of the year. But because your support lacked and dropped after the first day of streaming it, you're going to try to pan it and find problems with it. Because again, you can never take ownership of why something failed. It has to be some external factor, like, oh, the developer, the game, or my viewers, or just complete nonsense. People don't have attention spans. That's what he's doing today, bitching about the viewers' attention span. They were bitching that it took him 8 playthroughs to beat the game when he could have beaten the game in 2 days. It's always someone else's problem. Someone else did something wrong, and he's not to blame. That's why we have the epic soundbite of,
So let's recap.
We have this epic soundbite here.
I did nothing wrong.
He did nothing
Okay.
wrong. Okay, he did nothing wrong. Everyone did everything wrong except for him.
The final part, if you like this playthrough, you're going to want to watch. Not only do I do one ending, I do both endings to the game. And then there's a lore dump document that unlocks once you beat it. It's 60 pages. Took me about 15 minutes to read through. I read through it live on stream. So now we know the entire story of what happened in Raccoon City from start to finish, the past involving Spencer and the other people who he was working with, Umbrella, all the other, parties who were involved with what happened in Raccoon City. It's all explained in this lore document, and I'm glad that we read it. It was a really great final part. I think you'll really enjoy the fact that I was insanely complete with this playthrough. There's no reason to go back and replay it again.
By the way, he just said he read a 60-page document on stream. That's right. He was reading on stream. Okay.
I did everything that was meaningful in the game. Okay, so enjoy. Thank you for watching. Remember, as you're finishing the playthrough, which is probably going to be many of you over the course of the next week, please like the videos and leave comments. That engagement has helped me tons in the last week, and the more that you give, the more it will help DSP Gaming moving forward now that this game is over, okay? So, the only disappointment I have, the support. We didn't even make $100 on the final Resident Evil stream, but also a viewership was down. So I think what it is some people were maybe not caught up with the playthrough, so they weren't there for the end.
Here it
Some
is,
people were playing it
excuses.
themselves and hadn't beaten it yet, whatever it may be. But it is what it is. The playthrough's now done, and we're on to other stuff. Okay? Tonight was Thursday.
I love when you could tell this is when he's defeated. When he doesn't go on a 20-minute tangent about viewership, he's defeated. He realized, all right, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to stretch this out and milk my dents for money and do 8 streams. Maybe I should have beaten this game in 2 days. Yeah, I think he's finally realized it, because again, there becomes an issue where I forgot what the term is, but essentially, how much money you're gonna milk out of it, Phil? If you play the game for what? You ended up playing the game for what, 15, 16, 17 straight hours or something like that, when you could have beaten the game in like 10 hours? How much money would have you gotten more? And you didn't, because again, the first day you played it twice. You got wailed out on your first stream, and then your night stream barely hit the goal, and then everything after that just didn't hit the goal, to the point where your last stream you made $80. So again, you got to see, is it worth it? I mean, I give him this criticism all the time, where he streams 6 days a week for God knows how many hours, 10 hours a day. There comes a point where you're streaming for no reason. You're not making any additional money. So would it be worth it just to stream 4 days a week and maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours a day versus what you're doing now? Will you make less money or more money, or will it be comparable? Anyway, I don't know. I'm too tired to try to figure this den out anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to end it here. He's going to talk about Street Fighter. I really don't give a shit about Street Fighter. He sucked. If you want to watch my Street Fighter game clips, I posted it. It's like 10 minutes. It's him getting beat down by the women in Street Fighter. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.